After the horrific Manchester terrorist attack during Yom Kippur, we saw the mainstream media do exactly what they're very good at doing, and that is making out like the Muslims are the real victims in this incident, even though a Muslim man, a terrorist named Jihad, went in and killed the likes of two innocent Jewish people and wounded several others. Now, the real victim here is actually the Jewish people, but the mainstream media made it out to look like it is really the Muslims. They're the vulnerable community in this instance because, well, Muslims are going to be targeted, they're going to be hated on, and all that sort of other nonsense that usually goes on after one of their own commits a truly horrific thing. But I mean, ladies and gentlemen, have you seen anything completely out of sorts with the mainstream media of late? They really, really hate Israel, even if they have been attacked. Even if there is actually a terrorist attack, the mainstream media will lie and try and paint them out like they are still the worst things on the face of the earth. It's horrendous. Have a watch of this. This is Sky News.
It once again highlights the vulnerabilities of those who have faith, of different faith groups. Terror came to the door of the Jewish community today. We know also that the Muslim community can be targeted in these kind of incidents as well. Do you feel that we've got to a point in the UK where the prejudice against faith is expressing itself more openly now? Today at the extreme end of that scale, but people who hold prejudicial views are more emboldened to express them.
I think, firstly, at British Muslim Trust, we stand with all victims of hate. And in particular, today, we stand with Jewish communities, as I mentioned, but also with organisations like the Community Security Trust, who I know will be working so hard right now to keep Jewish communities safe. In terms of prejudice, I think, unfortunately, the Home Office figures from CST and other organisations show that there has been an increase in religiously motivated hate crimes. And that, that does come from misunderstanding and prejudice of people of faith. But by and large, I think, people are good people in this country. They're tolerant people, they're respectful, and we all want to live together harmoniously. And I really feel we have to reach into that and really invest in that and do more to bring people together.
Trying to side with both after one, a known terrorist that was let out, by the way, on bail after he committed another crime. This was a radical. There's lots of them going around, but the mainstream media, Keir Starmer, all those people, they're complicit in it. They cause this. They allow these pro-Palestine protests to go on every single week. It's nonstop. And then after a attack has occurred, they get up there and then they say their little piece and they don't realize that they are actually responsible for what's just happened. They're responsible for it. And the people have had enough. The people are sick and tired of our politicians that do not care about one's safety. They let all these people in. They let all these people in that hate our country. They hate our values, our way of life. Not everyone, I need to add, but a lot of them. Here in Australia, they want to protest. Tomorrow for us is October 7th. It's the memorial of what happened over in Israel. And what we saw the day after October 7th in Sydney, Australia, at the Opera House was truly disgusting. And guess what? The pro-Palestinian mob, they want to do it again on the anniversary. 2 years on, they want to do it again. No decency whatsoever because they hate prejudice. I'll agree with the Muslim woman. There's a great deal of prejudice and hate. Seems to be coming from one particular side, though. Because who's the one that actually suffers as a result? Not the pro-Palestinian mob, not the Muslims. No, they're protected. They're a protected class now. The Jewish people seem to be the one that are living in fear because you have so many people that hate them. The mainstream media is also complicit. They've been spreading lies as well. See, lies and hatred, they destroy. And the Jewish people, you saw them after the attack. They are literally living in fear. They're scared. Why in the world do they need to have people looking after them to defend them? That should signal something. That should send volumes to Keir Starmer. But of course, he doesn't care. How do you combat something that you've created? You've created the problem. He doesn't even want to fix it. Oh, by the way, a new report says that Islam is trying to take over Great Britain. Once Great Britain, I should say. Any wonder? The Sharia question. Sharia counsels religious Islamic identity politics, female inequality, honor-based abuse, clan-based cultural enclaves, and two-tier justice. Britain is being colonized by Muslim clans that seek to control parts of Britain politically and territorially by establishing Muslim settlements. The Sharia question, Women's Policy Center. How about that? We heard these people for the longest time say that they want to take over. They don't care. They don't care about us. Unless you are Muslim, you convert, they want you gone. Oh, after Keir Starmer went to the Manchester site where the attack took place, went back home, he got his photo up, he went back home, and there were a bunch of pro-Palestinian Islamists outside 10 Downing Street causing mayhem and havoc. Have a watch of this.
I've just gone around the corner so that I can hear you because the loud noise is coming out of the protest that's just taking place outside of number 10 Downing Street. It's pretty deafening. It's mostly pro-Palestine protesters that are there right now. It is getting a bit violent, Ian. I've just seen 3 territorial squad police vans filled with officers just go onto Whitehall. Basically about sort of half an hour ago, the police cordon that was in place to try basically to control some of the protesters and to stop violence breaking out. That cordon was broken. I saw all the protesters cheering as they managed to break through that police line, but they are clearly trying to keep them in a small and tight area, basically in the middle of Whitehall. It's sort of just been pushed a little bit further down from Downing Street, so it's not quite on Keir Starmer's front window, so I'm sure he probably won't be able to see it, but he definitely will be able to hear it.
Now, I've got a question. It's a very important question. So, Keir Starmer, these people actually came very close to your doorstep, mate. They came very close to your doorstep and they got very violent. It's one of the rare times you hear the mainstream media actually telling the truth. These pro-Palestinian people did get quite violent. They don't care about peace. You saw them. You created this problem. You rewarded Hamas. You gave them exactly what they want. You don't reward terrorists. Let this be a lesson to you. I don't think it will be, but perhaps wonders can never cease, right? They never learn. In fact, they make it a point to cause problems for us. I mean, you guys saw it with your own eyes, just how many people were there. They got violent. These politicians have got no idea just how despised they really are by regular folk that have just had enough. The Jewish community have had enough. Regular citizens that have to deal with this time and time and time again have had enough. Oh, and by the way, just in case you were wondering about these pro-Palestinian dingbats, here is a video of Greta Berlin, co-founder of the Free Gaza movement. This is how fake they all are, right? They know it's all about optics. They know that the Free Palestine movement is all a lie because they're not doing anything. They're not really going to free Palestine. They admit to lying. They admit to lying, not just getting violent. It's like the Black Lives Matter movement. Same thing. They got to have something. A couple of years' time, we'll look back on this and we'll see the Free Palestine movement just as much as we looked at the Black Lives Matter movement, a known terrorist organization that are hell-bent on destroying society, and they're very violent and they get away with it. Have a watch of this woman.
Somebody in Australia, his name was Michael Sheikh, wrote to a bunch of us. We were all members of the International Solidarity Movement. And he sent out this notice and he said, you know, I had this idea that maybe we could buy a boat in New York and we could sail it across the Atlantic and sail it down the coast of Europe and then into Gaza. I was sitting with my friend Mary Hughes Thompson, who is the other major co-founder. The two of us started this, and then we got another 5 people involved. And I looked at her and I said, oh, let's do it. One story that I always try to tell all of you is that once we finally got these crazy boats, they were moored in Greece. And I was in charge of the media office. That's my background. And I was in charge of the media office, and we were all in Cyprus. And so I would put out a press release. And it would say, the boats are in Alexandria, getting ready to go. And then 2 weeks later, I'd say, the boats have moved to Turkey, and they're getting ready to come to Cyprus. Well, the boats were never either one of those places. They were always in Greece. So the Zionists, when they want to attack me, they do that quite often, say to me all the time, you lied all the time. I said, yeah, we did.
You lie all the time. I say, yeah, we did. It's like you don't care that you've lied. You got that much hate and disdain for Jews that you don't care the damage that a lie can do, especially today. I believe the Free Palestine movement is actually a lot worse than Black Lives Matter. I think the Free Palestine movement has joined with real terrorists, hell-bent on destroying our society. And you know what? Our politicians have latched onto it as well. It's just become really bad. They're causing chaos. And it needs to stop. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.